Welcome to Synthetic Oil Protection. I'm your host Eben. Today we're back doing our oil analysis follow-up on our beautiful 2002 Happy Bread van. This is the Dodge 5.2 liter V8. It only holds 5 quarts of oil, and well, we're actually going to be putting a fresh oil filter on. So we actually did the oil change 17,500 miles ago. This car is driven from Pahrump all the way to Las Vegas about 4 times a week. So in about 8-9 months, they did about 17,500 miles. So we're going to be going ahead and switching out the filter, topping it off, and yes, it can continue to run in the same oil. We're also going to go over the fuel additive right here. We're going to be putting that in a second. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe so you can come back and watch all this important information for your vehicles later. Alright, now we're going to check our motor oil. I want to show you what the oil looks like after 17,000 miles. So a lot of people say, I always change my oil and it always looks really dirty. And you know, when you see it's black, that means it's dirty. Well, actually, we're going to be showing the oil analysis test data in a minute, and we're actually going to change the filter, and I'm going to show you when we put the new filter on and we top off the oil, how the oil actually looks very clean. And so basically the oil filter can only hold so many contaminants. And after it gets done holding all those contaminants, it actually isn't filtering at the level it should be. So we're going to go ahead and change out that filter right this second. All right, now it's time to go ahead and fill up our oil filter with our 100% synthetic AMSOIL. And what this is, it's 4 times better than the best Mobile 1 in turbocharger deposit testing. Also, it doesn't burn off like the other oil. It burns off at half the rate of the best Mobile 1. And this is the oil filter we're going to be putting on, the EAO oil filter. Good for 99% efficiency. And coming up here, they're actually going to be updating this filter to the next level up. They're actually going to be putting on a rubber dip so you can get extra grip when you take your filter off. They're actually going to be dipping the filter. So that's a new improvement they're going to do. And now, all I'm going to do is go ahead and just take this and go ahead and prime our filter. It's my favorite part. So we go ahead and fill her up. And now we want to wet our rubbers. So we come with just 2 finger. Usually I have my protection on, always use protection. But I'm going to go ahead and wet the rubbers, because as you know, the wetter the better. And hit your threads so she's good. And now she's all ready to thread on. And now all we do is we go ahead and pop off our filter, and you'll lose about a half a quart. I get a lot of people, they ask, Eben, if you take off the filter, will you lose all the oil? And you absolutely will not. It'll just drain about a half a quart, that's it. All right, now we go ahead and unthread her, and here we go. And there she drops her about 1/3 of a quart, not even half a quart actually. And that's it. So there's our filter, and that's about it. You can see not much is coming out. We got our fresh oil filter. She's all nice and clean, all lubed up, good to go. You can see how clean she is. And now all we do is thread her on like butter. It just goes on like silk. And shaboo-boo. Just changing an oil filter. Oh. That's it. This oil is good for 25,000 miles, so you just change the oil filter. Okay. Yep. So this is the old oil filter, and that's the old oil that came out. That's all we dropped. Now we're going to go ahead and motor her up. All right, so like I said, we lost about a half a quart. I already filled up the new oil filter. So now we're going to put another about 1/3 of a quart into the crankcase, and then we're going to motor her up. Watch the liquid gold go. you can feel the protection. All right, there's a half a quart. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, we have her idling for a minute. It's actually cleaning the oil up right now as we speak. It's getting rid of all the particles that are in the oil, because the oil is actually still good. The film's good, and I'm going to show you that analysis in a second. The test data on the metallic, everything, all on a graph, everything. But first, I want to show you the lubricant we're putting in. We're putting the AMSOIL new product upper cylinder lubricant, and what this does is it actually lubricates your rings, lubricates your valve train, and it actually brings it and makes it quieter. Now, this truck never had it before, but we're going to go ahead and put it in right now. It treats up to 25 gallons of gasoline, and this truck has had the PI performance improver. So this truck only burned about 1.8 quarts of oil over 17,000 miles, and it's got only a 5-quart crankcase, which is very small. So this is like the worst case scenario in any vehicle, but the PI cleaner is what we used before. This cleans your combustion chambers, cleans ethanol varnish, cleans your valves, gets the carbon off them. And a lot of times you'll have an engine that runs kind of shaky, and that's because your combustion chambers are not the same size. So you have pinging and knocking in certain cylinders, and you just don't have the performance you used to. Well, in one bottle, this treats about 98% cleanup. So when you put this in, within 5 gallons, your car or truck won't even drive similar to the way it was before. And you put this in every 4,000 miles, and we're gonna go ahead and throw it in. It's got the new gasless gas cap compatible, so if you have a Ford or anything like that, the threads don't catch up. So all we do is stick it in, boom, bottle number 1. Now the lubricant. The upper cylinder lubricant, you can use this by itself, or you can use it with the PI cleaner, and that's the really good cleanup. So we're going to stick that in. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to motor her off. So this is after idling for about 2 minutes. That's what the oil looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and clean the dipstick off and show you what we got. Show you the oil level and everything. So that's what the oil looks like after idling for about 2 minutes. Now, as this oil actually runs through that filter, it's actually going to get cleaned up even more, and it'll look about like the oil was ran 1,000 miles. So it's going to almost clean it up back to about 85% clarity, which is amazing. That's how good the AMSOIL filter is. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you the data. This is what the oil looks like. Just wanted to give you a little perspective on it. And we'll go ahead and... All right, and now for the moment you've been waiting for, the oil analysis report. We're going to go over the whole thing right this second. So here is the Oil Analyzers Inc. is the company that did the analysis, and there's several locations throughout the United States. You can check that out online. Here's a graph. It shows all the different levels of the oil. Coming on over here, you have all the information where the Humpy Bread Bakery's at in Pahrump. Coming on down, the quart capacity, 5 quarts. It was on a Dodge 2002 1500B 5.2 liter. That's the date of the testing. Indianapolis lab location. Coming on down to our full setup. Suggest monitoring the gauges, vital signs, fault codes, fuel level, cost closely between samples. Tin is at a significant level. So that could be from the engine wearing out. The engine has some age on it, and we don't know what the maintenance was before Richard got it. So Richard hasn't had the van very long. Significant levels, metal along with copper and lead is a moderate level, maybe overly main bearing. There could be a bearing slowly coming apart. Valve, train, metals, seam guides that at the moderate level, base significantly low, slightly low. So the base number is still good. It's still cleaning the crankcase. As base depletes, the ability to neutralize the acid diminishes. Boron is slightly low. For the lubricant, boron levels naturally decline. That's normal with the use and not to cause concern. Replace oil filter top off system, which we just did, which we showed you a video of, with fresh make-up oil. Do not when oil sample was taken, if not when oil was taken. So we did it about a week later. Resample in 3,500 miles or 65 hours of operation. So here we'll go down through the metals. We got iron, chromium, nickel, nothing real bad. The tin is unusual. Could be some sort of contamination or something. Not sure what that tin's all about. Never saw that on any report. Everything else is good. The moly is good. That protects your engine. The boron's still good. Coming on over. Zinc is good. Phosphorus shooting on down. The mileage, boom, right there, 7,500 miles. It could be a little bit more, but we know what Richard does. He comes to Vegas about 4 times a week, and that's about 70 miles away. So definitely a big drive. Fuel dilution, absolutely minimal. Soot, minimal. Water's minimal. Viscosity, still good. That's still in the good 30 weight range. Nothing bad on that. And the base number is still good. Oxidation's good. Nitrogen's good. Coming on down, nothing else down there. All right, so that's that. So it's really, everything really turned out to be really good. We're going to go ahead and run it like another 3,500 miles. Probably going to end up going 5,000 and then just change the oil and do it all. So you say, well, what did we do with this? We ended up using 5 quarts initially. We used about 1.9 to top it off over the course of 17,000 miles. So that's 5, 6, 7 quarts of oil. And then we just added another half a quart, so that's 7.5 quarts of oil. And then we added a filter. So the cost of this oil change is very minimal compared to doing 3. You know, so we're taking the place of like 5 oil changes by doing this 1 oil change. So when you look at the gas mileage savings, which you get better with the 100% synthetic, you look at the time savings of 5+ oil changes you don't have to do, it really, really adds up. And, you know, it's something you have to touch it and feel it and see the way the oil burns off. And when you see how the oil doesn't burn off, you do your own oil analysis test, you'll really be surprised and you'll know when the oil needs to be changed. You'll see it start to get thicker. And when AMSOIL gets thicker, it doesn't circulate as easy. So, you know, if you go like 25,000 miles, you can still run the oil. You're still going to have protection if you top it off and change the filter. It's just that the oil gets thicker. And to run a thick oil and not get the optimal gas mileage, you might as well just change it out. So that's why on average, the Signature is going to last about 25,000 miles. If you do a lot of really heavy driving, you're probably going to want to do it a little earlier. Richard really did some good sturdy driving with it. He did a lot of high heat driving, sitting in traffic lights here in Vegas, going back and to and from Vegas to Pahrump. He picks up product down at the airport. So when you consider all that stuff, 17,500 miles, the oil is still at a good level, still good to run, and it just saves the environment. You don't have to recycle all those extra oil filters. Oh, and if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe. Click the notification bell. That way you'll be able to see us, all the new videos that come out. All right, if you have any more questions on this, definitely reach out to me. And, well, we'll see you Thursday night live, 6:30 p.m. Las Vegas time, where Jeff and I answer all your car questions on the channel. Really look forward to seeing you there. And also, I wanted to let you know, I have a link below in the description section where I have all my contact information. If you're considering trying the AMSOIL products, I have my preferred customer link. That'll get you all the products at 25% off. It'll get you the free shipping as a preferred customer. And as always, thanks for checking out the channel. Cheers to protection, protection, protection.